Happy listening. You've tuned in to Real Talk English with Anna and Jake.
And I'm Jake. Whether you're driving to work, doing the dishes, walking the dog, or out for a morning run, we are absolutely thrilled that you're spending your time with us today. Grab a coffee, settle in, because today's episode is going to be a game changer for your English fluency.
Today's episode is incredibly special. We are going to be talking about a concept that is taking the internet by storm right now in 2026. If you have been looking for a way to completely shock your English system and finally cross the bridge from understanding English to actually speaking it, this is the episode for you. We are officially launching the Real Talk English 30-Day Speaking Challenge.
That's right. Learning a language in 30 days is one of the most popular high-engagement concepts we are seeing everywhere on YouTube and social media this year. But let's be totally honest with our listeners right from the start, because we pride ourselves on real talk. You cannot go from zero to absolute native-level fluency in 30 days. That is scientifically impossible, and anyone trying to sell you a course promising that is lying to you.
Exactly. We need to set realistic expectations. But what you can do in 30 days is completely destroy your fear of speaking. You can build an unbreakable daily habit. You can force your brain to move hundreds of words from your passive memory, the words you can read into your active memory, the words you can speak spontaneously without hesitating. A 30-day challenge works because it builds an addictive daily viewing and practice habit that fundamentally shifts your mindset. You stop saying, "I'm studying English," and you start saying, "I'm living in English."
It is all about consistency over intensity. The biggest mistake intermediate learners make is studying for 3 hours on a Sunday, feeling exhausted, and then doing absolutely nothing from Monday to Saturday. This challenge requires a commitment of just 30 to 45 minutes a day. But you have to do it every single day, weekends included. Consistency is not optional here. It is the entire engine that makes this challenge work.
So grab a notebook and a pen because we are going to break down this 30-day challenge week by week. We are going to give you the exact step-by-step daily routine you need to follow. We are talking specific minutes, specific exercises, and the exact psychology behind why it works.
Let's dive right into week 1. We call week 1 Break the Silence. The foundation of this entire week is simply getting comfortable with the sound of your own voice speaking English. You need to get your mouth moving in English every single day.
So many intermediate learners are terrified of their own English voice. They sound different in their heads than they do out loud, and that difference creates anxiety. So for the first 7 days, your first daily task is 5 minutes of thinking out loud.
This is exactly what it sounds like. For 5 minutes every morning, you just narrate your life. Describe what you see around you, what you did today, or what you plan to do tomorrow. For example, if you're making coffee, you literally say out loud, "I'm opening the cabinet, I'm taking out my favorite mug. The coffee smells really strong today. I'm going to have a busy day at work." You speak out loud, not in your head.
It feels a little crazy at first. You might feel silly talking to your coffee pot or your dog, but you're training your mouth muscles to form English words without the pressure of another human staring at you waiting for an answer. You will find that you stumble over basic words, and that is exactly what we want to fix.
After your 5 minutes of thinking out loud, your next daily task in week 1 is to spend 5 minutes recording yourself speaking. Open the voice memo app on your phone, pick a simple topic like my favorite movie or what I did this weekend, and just speak for 2 or 3 minutes.
This is the part people hate the most. Listening to your own recorded voice is uncomfortable for everyone, even native speakers. But do not delete it. You are going to listen back to this recording. When you listen to yourself, you will instantly catch your own fossilized mistakes. You will hear where you paused for too long or where you accidentally used a word from your native language. You become your own teacher.
To round out your daily practice in week 1, you need to spend 5 minutes explicitly learning what we call filler phrases or discourse markers. These are the phrases that native speakers use to buy themselves time to think.
Right. Discourse markers are incredibly important to structure your speech and connect sentences in a meaningful way. If you want to sound fluent, you need words that help you transition between topics, show that you're listening, or create a natural pause to check your information.
Instead of freezing and saying or sitting in awkward silence, you use these markers. Spend 5 minutes a day memorizing and practicing phrases like, "To be honest, what I mean is, let me think about that," or "the thing is." You can also use words to change the subject smoothly like "by the way" or "incidentally." When you get stuck in a sentence tomorrow, you drop in one of these filler phrases. It makes your speech sound incredibly natural and gives your brain an extra 2 seconds to find the vocabulary word you're looking for.
If you have time and budget, Week one is also a great time to start a 15-minute daily conversation habit. Just talk about anything, your day, a movie, your weekend plans. But if you can't talk to someone yet, the combination of thinking out loud, recording voice memos, and learning discourse markers is your perfect week one foundation. You do that for 7 days, and I guarantee your fear of speaking will drop dramatically.
Which brings us to week 2. We call this week the input-output loop. By now, your mouth is used to moving. You are comfortable opening your mouth, but now we need to make sure the words coming out sound natural. Week 2 is entirely focused on a technique called shadowing.
If you have been listening to our podcast for a while, we are absolutely obsessed with shadowing. It was formalized by a researcher named Katsuhiko Tamai in 1992, and it is scientifically proven to fix your accent, your prosody, and your real-time processing speed. It targets the phonological loop in your working memory.
For week 2, 15 minutes of your daily challenge will be dedicated to shadowing. Shadowing means you listen to a piece of native audio, like a podcast or a YouTube video, and you repeat it out loud with a minimal delay, usually just a beat or two behind the speaker, while the audio keeps playing.
You do not pause the audio. You do not stop to translate the words in your head. You are basically using your mouth as a tracking system for someone else's voice. You're mimicking their exact rhythm, their pitch, and their stress.
So, how do you actually run a 15-minute shadowing session? First, find a 60 to 90-second clip of natural English dialogue. We highly recommend dialogue from a TV show, a graded podcast for learners, or even dubbed animation. Do not use fast rap music, and definitely avoid reality TV where everyone is screaming over each other, because the audio is too messy.
Exactly. Step one, listen to the clip once just to understand the mood and the general shape of the content. Step two, read the transcript silently. Look up any unknown words so you understand the meaning before you start speaking. If you don't know the meaning, you're just blindly chanting noises.
Step 3 is what we call delayed shadowing. This means you wait 1 to 3 seconds after the speaker starts, and then you follow along, reading the transcript out loud while they speak. You will stumble. Your tongue will physically get tied in knots. That is completely normal. Do this for 2 or 3 passes.
Then you put the text away. You move to prosodic shadowing, where you completely focus on mimicking the melody, the pitch, and the emotion of the speaker, doing it entirely by ear. Exaggerate the melody and the stress. Doing this for just 15 minutes a day during week 2 will completely change how English feels in your mouth. You will stop sounding like you're reading from a textbook, and you will start sounding like a real person.
Alongside shadowing in week 2, we are going to introduce sentence mining. Instead of trying to memorize lists of random vocabulary words, which we know doesn't work, whenever you hear a new word in your shadowing practice, I want you to immediately write down 3 original sentences using that word. Make the sentences about your own life. This forces the new vocabulary into your active memory.
The goal for week 2 is to move from just describing things to actually expressing connected thoughts. You will notice your sentences getting longer and more fluid.
That is a great transition into week 3. By week 3, you are warmed up, you are shadowing, you are sentence mining, and your pronunciation is getting sharper. Week 3 is called the digital and human connection. It is time to actually talk to someone else.
Now, we know this is the scary part. You have to take the training wheels off, but it is 2026, and we have an incredible advantage right now. Artificial intelligence for the first half of week 3, you're going to use AI voice tools for your conversation practice.
AI is the ultimate safe space for language learners. AI does not judge you. It never gets tired, and it is available 24 hours a day. It is perfect for building your initial confidence before you face a real human. There is a huge trend right now of using AI voice cloning for shadowing and speaking practice.
Your daily task for the first few days of week 3 is to spend 15 minutes having a live conversation with an AI. You can use apps like Speak Pro, which uses real YouTube videos and AI analysis to give you immediate feedback on your pronunciation. Or you can use Longua, where you can chat with an AI clone for unlimited speaking practice. Even Google Gemini's advanced voice mode is fantastic for this.
You have to give the AI a specific prompt. We use a technique called scenario cycling. Scenarios provide a mental framework for how a particular situation is typically dealt with in a real-world social context. Instead of just chatting randomly, you simulate a real environment.
For example, tell the AI, act as an interviewer for a marketing job, ask me difficult questions, and correct my grammar after I answer. Or act as a barista at a busy coffee shop in New York, and let's role play ordering a complicated drink. You could even role play a scenario about buying a bicycle, discussing road bikes versus mountain bikes, and asking about pedals and gears. You practice these highly specific, realistic situations to get your repetitions in without any pressure.
But you cannot stay in the AI bubble forever. AI is programmed to be overly helpful. It will usually understand your broken English without any problem. But real humans are messy, unpredictable, and they will ask you to repeat yourself. Real humans don't speak in perfectly formatted sentences.
That brings us to the second half of week 3. You must transition to real human interaction. Your daily task shifts from talking to a robot to talking to a native speaker.
The best way to do this is through language exchange apps like Tandem or HelloTalk. Tandem connects you with millions of people worldwide. You can find a native English speaker who wants to learn your language. You spend 15 minutes speaking English and 15 minutes speaking your native language. It has built-in translation tools and correction features right in the chat.
Hello Talk is another amazing option. They have voice rooms where you can join a casual, supportive space to practice speaking and listening for free. If you have a budget, hiring a professional tutor on italki for just a 30-minute session can make a massive difference. A tutor provides real-time corrections and pushes you to use new grammar structures.
The goal here is not perfect grammar. The goal is survival and communication. When a real human looks confused and says, "Sorry, what did you mean by that?" you're forced to quickly search your brain for a different way to explain yourself. That moment of struggle is where true fluency is born. AI gives you the reps, but humans give you the reality.
We are finally at week 4, the final stretch we call week 4 real life integration. By this point, you have been speaking every single day for 21 days. You have the momentum. Now we want to make English an invisible, automatic part of your daily routine.
Your tasks in week 4 are all about environmental immersion. We want you to incorporate the language into your mundane, everyday tasks. Change the language on your phone, your laptop, and your social media apps to English. If you need to write a grocery shopping list, you're going to write it entirely in English.
If you're running errands or driving your car, you're going to actively think your thoughts in English. We also want you to adopt what is becoming a huge trend in 2026, building a second brain English system. This means creating a digital notebook, like Notion or Evernote, where you store all your new vocabulary, screenshots of articles, and grammar notes so you never lose them.
We are also going to increase your media immersion. Spend 15 to 20 minutes of your daily challenge actively watching English content. But remember, passive binge watching produces minimal fluency gains. Your brain just filters out unprocessed audio. We need active recall.
To do this, you can use browser extensions like Transy. Transy adds bilingual subtitles to Netflix and turns any line of dialogue into a pronunciation drill with AI-scored feedback. It converts Netflix from a passive screen into an interactive speaking lab.
This is the perfect time to dive into the new Netflix releases for May 2026. You can shadow scenes from the new limited series adaptation of Lord of the Flies, or practice British accents by watching the new crime drama Legends.
After you watch a 15-minute show or a YouTube video, your task is to immediately summarize what you just watched out loud for 2 minutes. Pretend you're explaining the plot to a friend. This trains your brain to extract information in English and immediately produce a summary in English without translating back and forth. By the end of week 4, your goal is to speak without overthinking.
All right, before we wrap up and give you the final recap, we want to answer a few questions we've received from the Real Talk English community about taking on a 30-day challenge. We know it sounds intimidating, so let's clear up some common worries.
Our first question comes from Maria in Brazil. Maria asks, I work full-time and have 2 kids. Can I really improve my English with just 30 minutes a day, or is that too little time?
That is a fantastic question, Maria. The short answer is absolutely yes, 30 minutes is enough, but only if it is active learning. The problem is that most people spend 2 hours passively reading a textbook and call it studying. If you spend 15 minutes doing intense focused shadowing and 15 minutes having a live conversation on an app like HelloTalk or doing voice memos, you are doing active output. 30 minutes of high focus output will yield far better results than 2 hours of passive reading.
Exactly. Our next question is from Kenji in Japan. He asks, what happens if I get sick or I have a crazy day at work and I miss a day of the challenge? Do I have to start all over from day 1?
Kenji, please don't stress. There is no teacher grading you. The only person holding you accountable is you. If you miss a day, do not give up and definitely do not start over. Just pick up exactly where you left off the next day. Life happens. The goal of the 30-day challenge is to build a habit, and a habit isn't destroyed by one missed day, it's destroyed when you let one missed day turn into a missed week. Give yourself some grace and just keep going.
Great advice. Let's take one more question. This one is from Sarah in Germany. I am an intermediate learner, but I have a huge problem. I understand almost everything I hear, but I can't remember the words when I try to speak. Will this challenge fix that?
Sarah, what you're experiencing is the classic gap between passive vocabulary and active vocabulary. Your passive vocabulary, the words you understand, is huge. Your active vocabulary, the words you can speak, is tiny. This challenge is specifically designed to fix that. When you do sentence mining in week 2 and when you do the summarizing exercises in week 4, you are literally forcing your brain to drag words out of the passive box and shove them into the active box. It takes pressure and repetition, and the 30-day format provides exactly that.
Let's do a quick recap of the entire 30-day speaking challenge so you have the ultimate roadmap.
Week 1 is foundation. You will spend your daily 30 minutes thinking out loud, recording voice memos on your phone, and memorizing natural filler phrases and discourse markers to sound more fluent.
Week 2 is shadowing. You will spend 15 minutes a day doing delayed and prosodic shadowing with native audio to fix your rhythm, and you will use sentence mining to lock in new vocabulary.
Week 3 is conversation. You will start by role-playing specific scenarios with AI voice tools like Gemini, Speak Pro, or Langua to build your bravery. Then you will jump onto Tandem, HelloTalk, or italki to have real, messy, beautiful conversations with native speakers.
And finally, week 4 is integration. You will write your to-do lists in English, change your digital environment to English, build a second brain system for your notes, and practice summarizing the media you consume out loud.
If you stick to this for 30 days, if you give us just 30 to 45 minutes of real focused effort every single day, you will not recognize your own English by the end of the month. The intermediate plateau will be completely shattered. You will transition from someone who is learning English to someone who uses English.
We want to make this as easy as possible for you to follow, so we have created a free downloadable 30-day challenge PDF calendar. There is a link right in the description of this episode. You can print it out, stick it on your refrigerator, and physically check off every single day that you complete your speaking tasks. Visual proof of your progress is so motivating.
Now it is accountability time. We know that listening to a podcast is easy, but actually doing the work is hard. So we are asking you to make a public commitment right now.
Go down to the comments section of this episode, whether you're on YouTube or Spotify, and write, I accept the 30-day speaking challenge. Tell us exactly what time of day you're going to do your 30 minutes of practice, morning before work, on your lunch break. When you write it down and share it with the Real Talk English community, you're significantly more likely to follow through.
We are going to be in the comments cheering you on. Language learning is a journey, but it is not a journey you have to take alone.
Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you found this 30-day blueprint helpful, please share this episode with a friend who is also trying to learn English. Maybe you can even do the challenge together and be each other's conversation partners in week 3.
Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you never miss our future tips and lessons. This is Jake.
And this is Anna. You have been listening to the Real Talk English podcast. Good luck with day 1 of your challenge tomorrow. Keep speaking, stay confident, and we will see you next time. We hope you got some real value out of our conversation today. If you did, hitting the like button is the best way to let us know. Make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next episode, and we will see you in the next one.